pretty good about his dream, eh?
I didn't hear about the dream.
Hey, having a dream and doing the dance out there.
Doing the dance out there, right?
Let's do it.
Whole bunch of people.
Strange dream.
I think we could do a street dance.
Reiterate it.
What?
Reiterate it.
Reiterate.
Your dream.
Oh yeah, well yeah, whole it was very thousands of people out in front dancing in the street, and I was really liked.
Let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Street dance in Tompkins.
I was standing by my window on the cold valley, and I saw birds come rolling, gonna carry my mother away. The more endings, the better. That's what I said. Thank you for the drumming, yeah.
I'll be back.
Do you have another one of, you mentioned you might have another one of those things? If not, that girl can hold it.
That's true.
I have my hands full.
She has her hands full. I'll take a look. See.
I had all three. I was stopped because I
Another,
made sausage
tripod.
and pierogi supper here at the hall. And they said, Irene, I said, I'm
Sorry, I
sorry.
volunteered you.
I said, I know you're going
Your
with
hands
other
are busy.
people. But I said, I'm sorry, I can't do the sausage and pierogi supper. And I went, I said, I'm
Is
stopped.
that a glare?
I couldn't even eat a potato chip out. So that guy was with her 3A game. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
You know, Gordon Lightfoot, one of his very first songs was a spiritual. It's called Rich Man Spiritual. And I think he wrote it when all of a sudden he went from being a poor man
Remember
to having
I
a
went
whole
there
bunch
after
of money.
church, and then I had
And noticing around him
like
that
this.
people like
That
Janis
was $6
Joplin,
a can of pop,
the guy from the
$4.
Doors, and
And then they had
everybody
the
all of a
burgers
sudden
and
had a
fries
whole
they
bunch
had,
of
and it
money,
was a nice meal, it was
and how it
$4.
kind of
But you added
affected
all
their
that in,
lives.
it was
Not
It's $27.
staying true to Gordon's religion,
Oh, no.
his first song that got popular
I said, next time I said, oh,
is this one, and I'm trying to remember the name of it so I can, but it'll come to me as we play it, right? Get me home. Get me home. Get me home. Lead me home. Poor man's trouble. Get the Lord to pay me home. Gonna buy me a poor man's trouble. Get the Lord to pay me home. When I get my trouble more, you know home where I was off. I'm gonna give me little trouble and woe to get me home. I'm gonna give me little trouble and woe to get me home.
Guys like, oh, I need some diesel. All right, now you put some diesel.
That's what I do, Reesor.
Gas. All right, put some gas in
Very
there.
good.
Took off.
Very good.
So I said, well, or I never took off. He was there, but he moved. And then Zula came with his bus. I was like, well, did you get the reading once you put in the? No, I didn't get the reading. He's like, oh God.
Running out of breath.
So then I said, Brian, you got to come back here. I said, what
This one.
happened?
You know, I'm sure glad I wore
All
two
of a sudden
sets
we had
of
like 5 or 6
Depends tonight.
people
I'm
in here,
feeling
and I said, you got diesel, I wrote the diesel number. Then you got gas, and then you never paid attention.
I'm not saying I'm getting old enough, but I went in an antique store the other day and they wouldn't let me out.
And I said, well, I don't know how to read the thing. So I had to go and get Brian, and then he came and read the thing,
But in your dream, you had the whole town rock.
Quick.
Or more than
Yeah.
the whole town.
Yeah, yeah.
People had to show up there.
Well, they were outside the gates as well. There was a fence and they were outside the gates.
No, I
Yeah, it
think
was very.
what it is.
But most of my concerts and my dreams, I'm really good at.
A job that is basically part-time, casual, and basically that's for December,
Well,
January.
I had a
And
million
then also
songs in my
they
head
said,
when I was
well,
coming.
you're good till
Can't remember.
February. Okay, now we have an extension to March. Now we have an extension to April because
On
word
a
is
day for a daydream.
But now all of a sudden, I guess.
What a day for a daydreaming boy. Now the sun is my daydream. Dreaming about my wonderful dream. In the evening time, I'm really on my side. It's one of those days of taking a walk outside. I know on the day to take a walk in the sun. It's on my face and someone new along. Sweet dream. Been dreaming since I woke up today. Started thinking my sweet dream. And she's the one that makes me feel this way. Even this time it's left me by a lot. I couldn't care less about the dues you said I got. Tomorrow I'll pay my dues for dropping my love. I find a place for a bit of sleepy old love. You can be sure that if you're feeling right, a daydream will last along the end of the night. Tomorrow at breakfast you better pick up your ears. Or you may be daydreaming for 1,000 years. I ran out of liquid. Thank you. Boy, that was hard whistling. That was nothing in your mouth.
So do you do, what do you
I mean,
do,
Tom's turning like 71 soon. So is he coming back? If I was him,
I can smell it,
money,
yeah.
why come back to work? Why not enjoy your life, right? You've done.
dueling banjos?
So if you don't need the money, unless you need the
No,
money.
don't do that one, no.
Why
Mostly because
money, I don't buy it.
no, I don't do it either.
But maybe when we have that gig out here,
Yeah, that might be a possibility, yeah, because it's just GC and D.
There is a man with a mythical banjo in town.
yeah, he's gonna come over, we're gonna do some, music.
We know where
And
he
he hasn't
is.
showed
We're
up
knocking
yet.
his door.
I will go knock on his door.
How about something really silly like, in the town where I was born,
There we go.
lived a man who sailed the seas, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. So we sailed into the sun until we found, I'll get it, made a dream, and we lived a life of ease in our yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. And the friends are all aboard, many more of them live next door, and the band begins to play. Hey! We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine.
anybody done a breakdown on the lyrics on that thing? What's that,
Like smaller and
what
smaller.
were the,
It's like Shirley's
that
got
predictive
those,
programming in that one?
Smarties.
I think, well, if you played it backwards, it said you
They're like
believed in the
this. Well,
devil.
they used to be that big. Now they have to box.
Remember that? Were you old enough to remember that? There was a rumor out when that Beatles album came up. If you put the needle in just the right spot and turn it backwards, it would say, now you're worshiping the devil.
The White Album?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Like,
it
it's
never
pretty
got
sad.
the stuff. It was a fun story for a long time.
Or a lot of records that way.
Yeah, they did sell a ton, yeah. Same as with Abbey Road. Why is Paul out of step? Because he's really dead, that's another guy.
Yep.
And that sold a billion albums too. Not true. He said, I'll love you till I die. She said, you'll forget his time. I watched her all these years. She still preyed upon my name. He kept her picture. Where that crazy down there. He still loved her through it all. And hoped that she'd come back again. He found some loving. Dressed up to go away. First time I seen him smiling, yeah. But the loving time, he put his ring on his arm, and soon they carried him away. He stopped loving her.
diagnosed with.
You're
How
doing
long have I been
the,
at this?
I don't know. Who cares?
Since I was 71, I think.
For,
Nobody's chasing me off yet?
I think he did.
No, never.
Never.
I was quite shocked. They seemed like a week ago. Yep.
breathe in deep. Feel the air fill up your lungs.
In with the
Saturday
bell,
was another day on
with the bell.
Saturday.
You know something? I'm gonna play a song now by a Canadian boy, Neil Young. And when I first played this song, I was 15. Now there's a line in this song where he says, "And I'm 24 and so much more." And I said to myself when I was 15, 24? I'll never see that.
The wrong way.
And then I turned 24 and the song turned to have a different meaning. Because now I was old as the kid singing to the old man in the song. Now I'm the old man in the goddamn song. The whole song has changed completely for me. But I'm going to play it for you as I remember it. Oh man, look at my life. 24 with so much more. Am alone in a paradise that makes me think of true. I'm on such a cause. Many things that don't get lost. The point no one can toss. Lord, let's all be you. Doesn't mean that much to me, doesn't mean that much to you. I need this to last. Look at how the time goes past. Now I'm all alone at last, and I'm rolling home to you. I need you to look in my eyes, I'm only one like you. I need someone to love me, to pull me through. Look in my eyes and you can tell it's true.
Original, that dark one
Neil Young, good old Canadian boy.
and raspberry.
Awesome. I've decided again that you're one of my heroes.
Have you?
Watch that water.
Thank you, please, thank you. Well,
I'm so glad you came, Rick. This is awesome.
thank you very much.
Appreciate you being
And then they went to Burns and my
These are
dad's
people you
went
want
on
to
it,
do
so
on
we
this
worked
workshop
with my dad or
Well, I didn't know who was going to be here for. Whoever's here is here.
We haven't snapped out the snow here for like a month.
I know even at that wattress,
Yeah.
the snow is unreal up there.
Well, let's do one that your daddy and my daddy used to like when they were driving their tractors and stuff.
Just black.
Yeah.
The winder's just black. Cream? Okay.
It's crying time again. You're gonna leave me. I can see that far away look in your eyes. I can tell by the way you hold me down. It is only before it's crying time. Oh, they say that's some snakes that I broke on there. And that tears really
gonna stand up for a little bit. Pardon?
Well, today I started loving you. Now I'm right back where I really always been. I got all the way just long enough to let my heart admit. Today I started loving you again. Well, what a fool I was the way I did tonight. After all the ways you made, tears I cried. I should have known my way was yet to come. And that kind time for me, I just don't. As I love
Is Chaplin your cat's name?
I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break, go outside, get some fresh air.
Stretch the kinks out.
Yeah.
I'll join you. Okay, we're having an intermission.
Not an intervention.
Not one of those.
So I want to thank you all for attending my first poetry workshop. What are you going to say, Scotty? Well, I don't know, but I have some words here. And poetry is catching. You can, because I heard Bryn Thiessen. That's a good, what's that name? He's a good Mennonite name, yes. Bryn Thiessen. And so, where are we at on this page? So I've always enjoyed poetry. And after I heard Bryn Thiessen a couple of times, once in Sundry, once at Beaver Lodge, I liked what I saw. He was a simple man. He didn't have any airs about him. And he said some words and made people laugh and think. And there's nothing wrong with laughing or thinking. I still write and like words, and if you get a word or two and put them in a forge, then place them on an anvil, and using a hammer, you can beat them into a poem. That's a wordsmith. Heat them, beat them, heat them some more, and pound them into place. Siri gave me some synonyms for wordsmith. Did I say that word right?
Yes.
Gave me some synonyms for wordsmith. 1 week match was inkslinger. That's a real humdinger. And yes, blah, blah, blah. And I was doing this bio for the Medicine Hat poetry gig at the college. And I said if I had to categorize myself, the word mystic comes to mind, which is kind of like the word mystery or enigma. Enigma. I listened, my device told me about that today. One of the definitions for mystery, which is like the word mystic, is something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. So figure it out yourself. a cowboy poet.
Oh,
So I had a brother one time say to me,
so you won't be.
"So you think you're a cowboy poet?" Which got me to wondering, if you were a cowboy poet, how would you know it? I think he meant to encourage me. Not. The word is ridicule. The act of trying to make another feel ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous is a good word. Comes under the category of intimidation, which is what one does to another to try to make another feel unworthy, without worth, or inadequate. You don't have what it takes, Scotty. Which of course could be included under the heading of what my mama used to say about building yourself up by tearing others down. She said, don't do that. She's crossed the ridge now and rode on. I plan to see her again with many of my other heroes. Now I've got me a French mama. I've adopted Teresa's mama. She's my best mother-in-law. Not that I have others, but just the best. I love her and she lives with us, not here at the ranch. That's back a while. Back to the cowboy poet question. Why do you ask some people a question? They always seem to say, that's a good question, when you ask them. That's a good question. Maybe they're trying to figure out what the answer is and they're stalling to make it. Like, I don't know if I'm a cowboy poet, but my feet are long, fellows, and they smell like the Dickens. Who's that guy, Dickens? Charles. He wasn't a poet, he was a story writer. After I wrote this, I went back to bed, and in the morning, when I woke up, I remembered that I was going to talk about brothers encouraging brothers, which I hope to become better at, and wish I had been better at in my younger days. So because of that, I'm not going to be judgmental of or critical of others. Just let me say, you bunch of dirty, rotten sons of your mothers and fathers, that's what you are. Well, that's what we all are. Dirty, rotten sons of our mothers and fathers. I'm in the same boat, but let us all strive to be like that, but not to be like that, but more encouragers who lift others up and help all to rise higher and to outperform themselves and us. And there's nothing on page 4. So, here's a poem I wrote. I got a thing up here in case I need to scrub my face. Or clean out behind my ears or in my ears. But we don't want yellow things. Okay, this is called A Somebody Who Felt Like a Nobody. Not long ago and not far away, somebody who felt like a nobody lived in the land of familiar. He was not content with the way that things were, and he had gone a short way down the path of the same as everybody else, until he realized it would not take him to the land of contentment. So although he did not feel himself to be a brave person, or any kind of a trailblazer, he chose a path less taken. And although he saw others on the path who encouraged him on his way many times, he felt alone, except for the presence of the one who encouraged him to take this path. The one who unseen you follow in faith, and trust that although there are many obstacles to overcome, he will lead you onto the path that is right for you, and ultimately to a new home of peace, love, and joy, where there will be no hard words, stern looks, bullshit, or horse crap. Because we all had enough of that. Okay. A poet. "What is a poet?" the little boy asked his mother. "Well, here's an answer in whole or in part. A poet is someone who just doesn't fit in. It's hard to describe her or him. And while you were trying, he will just sit there and grin. Although he may for a short time be somewhat chagrined. A poet, maybe, is someone who doesn't understand himself or herself, depending upon the gender, and it's hard to understand, whether fat or slender." "Is that clear?" responded the mother. "The question is, should a poet be even tolerated? I guess some of them did get killed when it wasn't possible to silence their voice. Because their voice rings in my ears, tells me things I don't want to hear. So Lord, we ask you for ears to hear." And if you're interested in writing poetry, sometimes you just got to work at it and be yourself. And don't be afraid to think whatever you need to think, because it might help you get out of the drink. So, some people question me writing my eulogy and my epitaph. They thought, "Scotty, you think a lot about death." No, not a lot. But that's where we're all headed, unless we're immortal. Is that the right word? Live forever. Some people did that. They just stepped over in the Bible. Who's that guy? Enoch did that. And what I understand, there's been many other people that just stepped over. Regarding Enoch, it talks about in the book of Hebrews that stepped over and God took him. Is that how that reads? Somebody go like this. Yeah. So here's my eulogy. And I did this last time, and my epitaph as well. And when my time is up, just give me the cutoff sign or whatever. So, eulogy for Scott. Here lay Scott, dead under a horse. His life on earth has run its course. Don't mourn for me or grieve too long. I've lived my life, I've sung my song. The deeds I've done, the life I've lived. That's all I've got, all I have to give. The horse is ours, past an arm's length from my face. I'm thankful to Jesus, he gives me grace. If this happens to you before death's door is shut, quick, grab a rag and wipe the horse's butt. True story. That could have not turned out so good. But I still had the halter shank tucked in my belt. I was still able to get up and move, and so I had my horse. So I got up, got on, kept riding. Oh, that was crazy that day. Okay, so here's my epitaph. It's called When I Get There. When I get to where I'm going, don't cry for me down here, 'cause when I make it across the river, I hope to let out a cheer. Grieve as you need, but when grieving is done, carry on with life's race, when life's not got you on the run. I hope you're not grieving things that could have been, but never was. They didn't happen because of circumstances that did not allow. We can grieve things that never was, in the future or now. But grieving things that never was, they aren't for profit or fun, because they will only slow you down as in your race you run. And none of us need things that cause our movements to be impeded, because to finish our race and finish strong, all our strength and flexibility will be needed. Because when you fall or stumble, you want to bound right up, full of energy and happy as a pup, gambling about and wagging your tail, reciting cowboy poetry and telling tall tales. I hope to see you in the future. Down the trail, up on the ridge, across the river, on the other side. So what are we supposed to do at this poetry workshop? Eventually we'll get to a point where we can ask some questions, if anybody has questions. Here's a poem that's called Words and Questions. This was written June 8, 2023. Words can heal and words can break. Words can crush and smash and shake. Words can lift, encourage, bring a smile to the lips of those cast down, cause a bright countenance where once was a frown. What is the purpose of my life? Why has life been granted me? The very question brings to mind another question. Granted by who or whom? That is the essence of the question. The very foundational, essential ingredient. Are you, I, we willing to probe the depths of this question? I once heard the story of someone who lost 5 close family members, maybe his whole lineage. Someone asked him why he was still happy. Because my happiness doesn't come from my emotional well-being, my psyche, my soulish nature. It comes from He who has granted me life, and as long as life is within me, I choose to live it well and be happy, to the best of my ability, and encourage others, and use my words to lift others up. And this questioning brings to mind another question. Do we believe that man is a tripartite being? Questions, questions, questions. And how do you use words to frame these questions? And frame the answers if you are willing to probe them? Exclamation mark, question mark. So let's roll a cigarette and sit down and think about if we're willing to think. Or should we just turn up the volume on our device, radio, phonograph, and try to drown out the questions the grantor may be bringing to you, so that you can seek the true essence of your being? And here sat Scotty with a dictionary by his side, writing about words. And if something tragic happens, some traumatic event, are you going to shrivel up and die, or choose to live? Questions, questions, questions. Well, let's all choose to live. Hey, you brought something to. Are you doing poems later? I see you got a book.
I'm trying to learn from you.
Trying to learn from
You're
me.
supposed to tell me how to write a poem.
How do you write a poem? Well, up in your head, you let your thoughts begin to roam, and then you write them all down and get them on a pad. And we hope it turns out, and it ain't bad. Doodle-doo-pie. Doodle-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I got a guitar lesson the other day. I didn't have a guitar in my hand at the time, but I was listening to somebody instruct a couple of kids that did have guitars, and he was running. It's that fiddle seesaw guy that was here. Yeah, last time.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason Highstead. Highstead. You can rhyme a lot of things with Highstead, maybe. So, yes. And where was I going with that thought anyway? So,
So it's the old part where it goes.
what do you do with ideas
Stones.
and words to begin to write poetry?
New ones that they're bringing in for Phil.
Well, one time I was standing in the garage out where I was, historic Reesor Ranch. I had a place in the garage where I sometimes would go down for a contemplative prayer at whatever time I woke up. And if you don't know what a contemplative prayer is, that's when you have a smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're doing the workshop now?
yeah.
Awesome. High five.
Is it time to start? Or,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah.
time to finish?
No, it's time to start. You're just getting your 30 minutes started, Scotty.
Okay, so
Cuddle in if you want to participate in the poetry workshop. We're going to be doing a poetry reading contest afterwards, and there will be prizes.
Yeah.
It can be as much as a haiku. So even if you got a
No,
haiku,
but the sun is setting, so I have to go. I don't drive in the dark.
that's fair.
I don't like the deer and the antelope that play in the middle of the road, and I hit them. You
Well,
know.
does she want to go before?
If you have a haiku now, I'm sure Scotty would give
Yep.
you a little bit of his time.
Would you like to use my rag to give your face a wipe? Or?
No, there's no food involved in this. Sorry about
Nope,
that.
just a haiku.
A haiku.
You want to come up here?
No, wait a minute and see if I can find one. I need my glasses.
Speaking of a haiku, when I met the people that these two knew,
Oh, those other two.
yeah, the ones that did the thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you gave me a number and I texted her. And sometimes when I do a text, I arrange different shapes with the end of that deal. And what's her name?
Like
What's her name?
emojis?
Yeah.
Yeah, emojis.
No, not emojis, just words. Anyways, that girl got this thing, and she didn't know who it was from because we'd never texted before, and she wondered who's sending me a haiku, a stranger. Okay, get up here, lady, and do a haiku.
I gotta get my glasses on.
Oh, we got all the time in the world. The night is young. The antelope will still be there in 20 minutes.
Please only take a half 30
Pardon me?
seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, wait a minute.
Welcome, our first contestant for the Tompkins Poetry Contest.
I just have to get my glasses. I'm not blind, I just can't see.
That's a good line.
Okay.
All right, if you wanna, you can either sit or if you wanna stand in front of this thing, maybe.
Okay, let's see.
Here.
Here I am.
I want the headset.
A nice bow before. Sun's
All right.
out. Between
Here we go.
clouds. Rain glistens on leaves. Earthy smell. Wet grass. Now, another shower. That's haiku. This is only poetry. A small bird, pale yellow and green, among the shrubs. Cleaning the toes meticulously. She looks up, catches a bug. Dinner is served.
I like
And then you can see them among the corianders. Those little birds, they're about that big.
Those are called American goldfinches,
Are they?
I believe. Yellow and black.
This one I wrote for my 2 grandchildren when I was there one day. 1 year, I should say. A dark day, rain, clouds. 2 children at a table, coloring. They finish, run to mother. Masterpieces in hand. Bright smiles, sunshine. No longer a dark day. I like that one.
Good job.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
The other ones are very dark, so I don't want to read them.
Well, maybe we'll do a dark poetry workshop sometime.
Yeah,
Do
that
something
one
else.
is about locked-in syndrome. But when it was in when COVID was here, and people were put in comas,
Ah,
so I wrote a poem about that.
those were dark days.
Yes, that was dark days.
But the sun is back out.
So there you are.
Well, thank you so
Oh.
much.
Your cat. All right.
Oh,
Your cat is going to do this to you.
Oh no.
here we go. Here we go.
All
It's
right,
not
listen to
dark,
this.
is it?
Yeah, no. She catches a mouse, drops it in front of me. I miss. She catches it again. I miss. The mouse escapes. She walks away, her head and tail held high. She is not happy. I am not a good kitten. I cannot catch a mouse. After all, I'm only human.
Here, here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And that's going to happen to you, too.
Probably.
He's going to come in with a mouse and he's going to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
never
Everybody
happen.
who's got cats, they're like that. They just want to embarrass you.
So, they have some poetry books on sale here. But I've got one here to give away. First person that gets their hand in the air.
No, that's okay. I'm just going.
Thank you.
It's nice
It's a
to
nervous
get
tick that I
things,
have.
to get a prize. So anyways, I was in the garage. Do you remember where I was? And where I used to go down early in the morning when I woke up for a contemplative prayer and a coffee. And, well, maybe, anyways, I heard a sound behind me. Or at least I thought it was behind me. It might have been just in my head. And suddenly he whirled around. Was that footsteps? What was that sound? I heard of this fellow called Job. It is said of him that what he feared worst came upon him. Did it come slowly or by leaps and bounds? Search your heart and see what can be found, and deal wisely with all that lingers there, or it may trip you up and be a snare. So, in writing poetry, I write poetry to figure out what the hell's happening. And we have to deal, and we are a compilation. That's a good word. We're a compilation of all of the words that have been spoken over us, whether they were and what things that we hear, and that makes us who we are. But we've got to go back a step, I guess, to what was our Father's original intent for us, and what words did He speak over us, and what was His plan for our lives. Because ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Like the sound of the beating of our mother's heart when we were in the womb, or the sound of the beating of our Father's heart when we were in Him before the foundation of the world. And so He breathed us into our mother's womb, and then everything seemed to go sideways, depending what kind of family we were raised in, and our experiences. And then it started getting cramped in the womb, and then we got out of there and thought, golly. And then we hit our diapers and made a mess. And hopefully we had people that loved us and cleaned us up and spoke good words to us through the process of growing up. But so all of these things had an impact on us, and we've got to sort all of this stuff out, I guess, going forward, so that we can fulfill the Father's original intent for us. And suddenly He whirled around. So my daughter, at one time, how old was she? I should have wrote that down here. She wasn't younger than, well, maybe around 6. Anyways, oh, but I long to laugh, to be free from all that troubles me, to go for a romp down to Battle Creek. My parents don't know I've traveled so far. If they had have known, they'd have come got me with a car. Pour out your longings to Him who knows you best, and in all that happens, He will give you rest. Find your rest and peace in Him, and keep on laughing, and cause others to grin. So anyways, my young kid went for a few miles hike down to a place where we used to ride with our horses that she was familiar with. But anyways, she decided to go for a hike down there, and she never told anybody where she was going. And that's a long ways to go for a hike. Not unless you're those people that really hike fast. And we up at the ranch we have a hiking trail, and most people take 1 or 2 hours to it's just a few miles. And one guy that really is into flowers, it took him 8 hours because he was counting all the everything on the little. And people from Hike, Ontario, that's how I got into this story. I went for these people with the hike from Hike, Ontario, 20 minutes. I come back with a side ache carrying my kid. That's ridiculous. I think it was more about staying in shape. Staying in shape or something. So, the makings, or this is sometimes called cactus flowers. So this is a poem I wrote about an experience that I had with my daughter and son-in-law. They live down by Irvine, which is more dry land place than, gotta make sure this thing's all here. I think there's only one page on that. Looks like it's all here. I need an editor for helping me getting my act together and transcribe some of this stuff. But you can actually do that with a telephone, but it'd be more fun working with somebody that likes poetry, I guess. So if anybody wants a position, I might be, you can put in an application. So, Travis and Leanne were riding, and I was riding, a couple of other guys were riding. One of them was a Mormon. Maybe did this one at that thing too a few weeks ago on the 21st of some month past, whatever month that was. And I noticed that the cactus flowers would soon be blooming on the sagebrush flat. And I thought to myself, that's good poetry words. Cactus flowers will soon be blooming on the sagebrush flat, and me, I'm just a ride under a cowboy hat. So I took the time to think of a rhyme, and I says to Bob, that's the Mormon, have you got the makings? The makings of what, says he? The makings, that's people that used to roll cigarettes. They had to have the makings. And a good cowboy could roll a cigarette with one hand on the back of a bucking horse. I think that's a tall tale myself. So I says to Bob, you got the makings. The makings of what, says he? The makings of a poem, responds me. You take some words from your pouch of resources, you put them on your paper and you roll them about and twist the ends, then lick it and stick it and bind it together so you can inhale deep of their meaning and let them have their effect on you. Or you could use this analogy of chewing tobacco and the effect of a pinch of chew. Okay, questions about poetry. We got any questions out there? If not, I'll figure out something else to say.
Your question? You?
So, Tom McDonald.
Maybe there are questions. You gotta wait.
What's that?
You
Wait.
gotta wait for the questions.
Well, if you got a
So-
question, put up your hand. Okay, yep.
So where do I start with writing poetry? If I want to start writing poetry. What types of poems are there?
What type of, well, we just got, heard some haiku.
Yep. So what makes a haiku a haiku? What makes a poem a poem? Is it rhyme? Is it rhythm? Tell us.
Well, what I usually write has a rhythm, a beat to it. And the other day when I was getting my guitar lesson, or actually just listening to a guitar lesson, Janice started up her metronome, I think it's called. A beat. Some poetry has a beat, some maybe not. Free verse. Free verse is, hey, what's free verse?
Free verse?
Yeah,
I think that's when you just say things.
yeah.
Just kind of come out. There's not really a rhythm or anything. It rhymes.
That's a good answer.
I think that's not a bad answer. I missed the first part of the workshop. I was getting a mustard delivery.
Oh, that was mustard.
That was mustard. We have tons of mustard. Do you like mustard, Scotty?
That's the right kind.
What kind do you like?
Yellow.
That is the right time.
So we're just asking questions, this is the workshop portion, so if you have any questions about writing poetry or
Yeah, where do you find the time?
That's one thing my some people ask my mother, because my mother did a lot of writing, and you just have a pad down close to where you're writing, or make notes on your telephone, and there's a stack of bending for roof to floor. It's been there a year or more. I'll never get finished with that, I'm sure. I just keep adding to it. Preschoolers scrapping, house a mess, usually is, I must confess. I'll tidy it up when they're growing, I guess. Right now it's wasted effort. Cookies, pies, and bread to bake, floors to wash, and beds to make. The floors need cleaning now and then, and once a week, bedrooms and den. 3 times a day we must be fed, the baby washed and put to bed. Wash that gall darn separator, no time to read, she'll do that later. Dress me up, I want to go out. In just 10 minutes you'll hear them shout, Mom, help me get these things off now. I got scared of that old black cow. Help me do this, help me do that. Where's my hair oil? I've lost my socks. Who moved my books? I've got a sore throat. I can hold on about 1 more minute. While they're on their way, I watch them go. Why does that one move so slow? Do they have to pick on each other so well? It's one thing I can depend on.
You'll see me watch.
Etc. Etc. Etc.
How do you memorize all these poems? That's what I want to know, because I can't remember nothing.
True.
Sure, maybe.
Quit lying to me. I actually find it harder, more difficult maybe, to memorize poems than write them, because sometimes they just seem to flow out of your pen. That's kind of like, what's that thing with the feather on it?
What are those called?
feather pen?
Yeah,
A feather pen. Yeah.
but this one's got a knob on it.
It's a
And,
knob.
That's not a pen.
A drumstick, like a turkey drumstick or a chicken drumstick.
Why don't we try to write a poem together?
Okay.
Like telephone?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay.
Do you want me to
Who wants
do
to
the
participate?
the first line or the last?
I think you should participate. Pull
Yeah.
up a chair. The water's warm.
Whoever wants to be in the circle of participation. Okay, Scotty does the first line. Just a short one. Just a few lines.
Once upon a time, I was in Tompkins, Saskatchewan.
Nothing wrong with Saskatchewan. That's not fair.
It doesn't have to rhyme.
Yes, it does. That's the kind of poem we're writing one like he just wrote.
It's pretty hard. Once upon a time, he was in
Tompkins, Saskatchewan, doing a poetry workshop. That's an easy rhyming word. Top.
And there was a crowd in the back, and they listened occasionally, but sometimes they just wanted him to stop.
It's your turn.
My turn.
Susie's turn.
Oh boy.
So you don't you can do you don't have to rhyme with top and stop. You could do another line and throw that in, and then the guy with the camera, because he's in close circle, maybe he didn't want to be that, but he is. So who wrote this down? Once upon a time, I was in Tompkins,
You want me
Saskatchewan.
to write it?
Doing a poetry workshop. There were people in the back, listened occasionally, and sometimes just wanted it to stop. It doesn't have to rhyme with stop or workshop. That's what Scotty says.
In a quaint little place called the Frontier Trading Post.
So now you gotta rhyme with post.
Although it wasn't a place for everyone, it was a place for most.
Hey, there we go. That's all right. We can get the
Here, I'll write it down.
YouTube to do the captions. It'll do that.
Say yours again.
Once upon a time, I was in Tompkins, Saskatchewan, doing a poetry workshop.
And the folks in the back, they listened sometimes, and other times just wanted it to stop. That's my line. And then we got Susie's.
Hang on. I'm still writing Scotty's here.
Oh no, I
Okay.
gotta say it again.
Yeah.
Now it's quiet.
And the folks in the back, they listen sometimes, but they also, oh, how'd it go? I've lost my own line. Folks in the back, they listen sometimes, and others just wanted it to stop.
Occasionally.
And occasionally wanted it to stop. That's what it was.
Okay.
Some people don't lose their line, they just lose the lure.
Bum bum. Okay.
And if you're doing poetry, it should be enjoyable. Because if it's not enjoyable, get a life.
Are you enjoying your time? Is there anyone else participating in this?
I think Naz might have a
Do you
line.
have a lie? No lie?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Is there anyone back there that wants to have a lie?
Does anybody want to throw in a line? For the poem we're constructing.
Oh, I don't remember. What was yours?
In a quaint little shop called the Frontier Trading Post.
It's not a place for everyone, but it's a place for most.
For most. That's a good line.
Are we doing a community poem?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. Would you
Alright.
like to join in?
So
What have we got so far?
Susie is just about done scribing, and then she'll read us back what we got.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I need to know what you got so far, otherwise what I say is gonna make no sense.
That would probably help
Sometimes poems are nonsensical.
a
Okay.
lot of times.
Once upon a time, I was in Tompkins, Saskatchewan, doing a poetry workshop. And the folks in the back, they listened sometimes and occasionally just wanted it to stop. In a quaint little shop called the Frontier Trading Post, it's not a place for everyone, but it's a place for most.
Wait with bated breath
Bated breath.
for the next line. It can rhyme, or it can just have rhythm and keep time. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
It was very windy and some of it was outside.
There we go. It was very windy, and some of it was outside. What are you gonna do with that, Scotty?
We were glad we were in the place and that we could abide.
No, yeah, okay.
There we go.
Say something about someplace to hide.
Hi. Yeah,
What was it?
sometimes, I don't know, but sometimes it's good to retreat into yourself or into the Lord, however you want to frame this up. Because we can get ESTD. I'm not sure if that's the right letter.
TSD?
Yeah, that one. Same, but spelled different. In the world, because out in the world, whoa, didn't see that coming, and shit happens, and we need to be able to retreat into ourselves or into the Lord to figure out what's happened, why is it happening, and sometimes, we can have been the originator maybe of what happened. Well, great, that guy's behind me, his lights are flashing. I shouldn't have been driving so fast. Or sometimes maybe things we don't understand why they're happening. And maybe it's all part of the plan to, as I was mentioning, that he had plans and purposes for a lot of people. Like my
Sorry.
I just
I
noticed
don't know if
you.
it's for cleaning toilets or.
No, I think it's I got another one.
Hopefully it's not used.
I think it's for cleaning his ears.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So where was I? What was
It was very windy and some of it was outside.
and sometimes we need to retreat into ourselves so that we can hide from everything that's going on around us and learn to insulate ourselves, if that's the right word, from events that are around us. This isn't the whole line, it's just the piece about hide. Because,
Sometimes we need to retreat.
retreat so that we can advance.
Retreat.
From
What's
the
the next?
From the wind.
Retreat so that we can, and hide rhymes with whatever.
Outside.
Outside, yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Community poem.
Good stuff.
Well done, folks.
Awesome.
So I guess he's recording that whole thing on there. You can keep standing there with that. How long do I just babble on? Because he could make clips out of that. That will suit your feet, right?
Well, I think maybe Kai, you'd like to share your poem.
Okay.
So, or if
Okay,
there's
you
anyone
can shut
else
that off. Thank you.
that thank you. That was a really long time to stand
Oh,
there.
there was one poem I've got. Hang on to that thing.
All right.
It's in the back here somewhere.
The CBC drum.
The CBC drum, yes.
CBC.
Well, I could probably wing it. So this poem is called Some Folks. Why, some folks is crazy. You can tell it quite plain. Well, just take a look at you like you they ain't sane. You can tell from their clothes, or look at their hair. Their length you don't choose, and their colors you don't share. Check out their barn, they don't clean it like you. Check out their snuff, the flavor they chew. So those other people with that terrible chew, I hope that them suckers ain't as self-righteous as you.
Thanks, Scotty.
Chew with your mouth closed, Scotty, and that's the most lettuce I've eaten in a long while.
Lettuce.
Usually I try to limit myself on the lettuce because it gets between my teeth.
So Kai, see anyone else has poems?
All right. So we are now doing poems for the Tompkins Poetry Contest. So maybe I'll kick it off, and then I know Susie's got one.
Anyone else?
Do you have one?
I don't.
Heather doesn't have one. Does anybody else have a poem?
Heather! I thought you were reading one out of the book.
Didn't
Yeah.
even have time to
Go
read the
get the book. I'll get
I
the
don't
book.
want to read something out of a book.
I think you should go first, actually, as punishment for not having a poem.
I didn't even have a break today, let alone
How can you
fucking
go
write.
first because how can you read first to read a poem for punishment for not having a poem?
Right?
That's a bit of an enigma.
You hit it.
There
I
it is.
gotta use that word more often.
There it is.
I don't want to read a random poem out of a book I haven't read.
And haven't written. That's the truth. I'm not shitting.
There it is.
I think we've heard these all
I
already.
think we have.
All right. Heather's going to do a poem from this book that was kindly donated to the Frontier Trading Post.
I haven't even looked at this book.
She's just going to pick one at random. It might be like about riding a saddle horse, which she's never done, but that's okay because she didn't prepare. And I want to hear a poem from you.
Some people
Come on.
used to come to a ranch, and they used to have, I'm not sure if it was, yeah, I guess it was poetry, and they would just put me on the spot, and see, read that thing, and they would sit around and laugh a lot.
Lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're gonna come kick us off. Scotty's
That's
got to
not fair.
move
You
this
didn't
though,
give me
because
a break
he's
to
blocking
write.
my camera.
Oh, yes, I am. Good eye.
Yeah.
Alright.
Just randomly
So
open
randomly
to a
open.
random page.
I'll stand with you for solidarity.
Good.
Don't worry.
Thanks.
Here's my other drumstick.
It's really good for putting barbecue sauce on a drum.
I'm going to read Ranch Hands.
Ranch hand, something Heather knows a lot about.
Okay.
All right.
Compose yourself.
Another school year was finished. One more grade.
Is this a comedy poem?
Ridiculous. Okay, another school year was finished. One more grade. He
You read that part.
He passed. He was heading for the foothills. 2 months would go real fast. He had dreamed about roping every critter on the place, looping green colts for miles, getting his new horse to face. The arena would be built in a week or maybe 2. He'd practice for hours, head then heel a few. Somehow his plans changed. This ranch didn't compare at all to his long-awaited dreams, and he cleaned another stall. The cattle weren't moved often. He'd only roped a few. The arena wasn't finished. Soared his horse and lost a shoe. Cleaning chicken coops and fencing, baling hay and wielding gates. Watching
Welding gates, I think. Probably not wielding.
watching his horse stand there sleeping and not go out on dates. He grew up a lot that summer, matured more than he ever knew. Realized dreams don't always happen, and that cowboys work hard too. Okay,
Good job, dear.
thanks.
Cowboys
That's
work.
already a winner.
Cowboys work hard too.
Yeah, so far it's the winner.
All right. I've got one to submit to the Tompkins Poetry Contest. I wrote it today. It's called Little Old Shop. Out where the prairie kisses the sky and the tumbleweeds roll for the skeptical eye, stands a little old shop with a big old heart, where nonsense and genius aren't far apart. It's the frontier trading post, bold and bizarre, with pink flamingo coconuts stacked by the bar. Little Heather runs it, tough as a boot, with a ledger, a glare, and a smile kinda cute. Now Kai, her dear man, is a curious case, with a Hawaiian shirt and a big ruddy face. He samples the profits, eats chips by the bag, always wiping down tables with an old dirty dish rag. He perfects and arranges the displaying racks with a cat on his shoulder who's dodging the pet tax. Heather has plans to boost up the sales, sell tropical nonsense, maybe some snails. So now Kai must dance in a coconut gown in a video ad to draw folks to the town. From Swift Current they'll come, she declared with a grin. If you shimmy and sparkle and maybe suck your gut in. Kai wept a bit softly and struck a sad pose as Chappie the store cat chewed on his toes. The open sign flashed, and an old gray truck made of duct tape and luck pulled up to the front, and old Larry leapt out with a grunt. He visits a while with a bag full of buns and a mischievous smile. They're Hutterite buns, he proclaims with some pride. Heather grabs him a Fresca and takes it all in stride. Then Melissa the baker, our pajama-clad friend, gets woken at dawn when the pretzel supplies end. Sorry, Melissa. She stumbles in bleary with flour in her hair, yelling, "Two, just two, that ain't even fair." The customers freeze. Chappie leaps from her perch. Melissa spills coffee and curses the church.
Oh, this is good.
Ah, Chappie the cat, she's the brains of it all. She runs inventory, staff, and morale. Next we have Scotty, the poet, a mystical gent who wanders in rambling about quitting salty carbohydrates for Lent. He strolls into the trading post, bold as can be, yelling, "I've come for beef fat and maybe some tea." Little Heather the clerk just rolls her eyes. Used to poets and preachers and travelers' lies. She'd holler, "The lard's in the back right next to the smocks, and mind the store cat, she guards all the stocks." Customers ask, "Is he hired or the boss?" Heather just shrugs, "Not all who wander are lost." She explains, "Cowboy poets come rhyming like dust on the breeze, trading haikus for jerky and cheese. A fiddler from Nashville once bartered his song for 10 avocados to last him all week long." Back behind the store, near the garbage bin, Scotty's got Kai, learning how to fit in. "Now hold it like this," he says with a grin, as Kai rolls a cigarette, thin, thinner than sin. Out front, a man comes knocking, calm as a lake. He asks for one thing, a cucumber, for Pete's sake. But every dang time, the answer's the same. "We just sold the last one to the man with no name." Just then from the saloon, slow and austere, came the owner next door, dreadlocked, severe. He said not a word, just gave one small nod, then poured 7 sugars into his coffee with applaud. Scotty the poet emerged from the loo, muttering prophecies no one quite knew. "Seek ye the man with the minions tattoo. Never trust cats who stare back at you." Chappie the cat, now she wasn't impressed. She knocked over Bibles and took a short rest. A tourist from Swift Current blinked in dismay. They bought 15 coconuts and ran away. Heather declared, "See, I told you they'd sell," while Kai muttered softly, "I'm gonna need a bigger bell." Now once every spring when the snow starts to melt and the smell of fresh tallow is tangibly felt, they host a grand contest. Poets must duel with haikus and sonnets and limericks cruel. Scotty, of course, wins most every year with lines like, "The wind is my father, regret is my beer." He bows, then vanishes with mystic delight to his cotty behind the potty to dream through the night. A customer once asked, "Is this store even real?" And Scotty replied, "Reality's fluid, learn how to deal." Heather was crouched near a pile of receipts, trying to track down a week worth of eats. "Kai," she said sweetly, with one of her ominous looks, "when will you finally take over the books?" Kai, in his shirt with blue flowers bright, said, "I would, dear, but not till tonight." "Tonight," Heather snapped. "That's what you said last week, last month, and the day we first wed." Kai mumbled something about spreadsheets and fate and escaped through the back with a slice on his plate. Heather just sighed and turned back to her math, while Chappie curled up in a sunbeam's path. The cat seemed to know, as all good cats do, that Heather ran things and kept the place true. And somehow it works, this lawless emporium, with tallow and rhymes and mild pandemonium, where cats run the ledgers and mystics serve tea. Here at the trading post, a man can be free. So come one, come all, to this prairie's bright toast, this ridiculous realm of the frontier trading post. Buy tallow and pretzels, hear poems that confuse, or just sit by the fake stove and catch up on the fake news. Because out in this world, it's the odd who survive, and the ones who sell coconuts, they just might thrive.
Wow.
There you are.
That was very good. That was really good. Great work.
Thank you.
So that's how you write poetry.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah. Yeah, on the toilet breaks when your wife's not paying attention. Anyway, Susie's got a poem for us.
Not nearly as good.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be a banger. I think it's about tallow. I have a feeling there's going to be some mild product placement in this poem, so, you know, we got to keep the lights on, folks.
Oh, Chappie showed up.
Re-aimed the camera. Awesome.
There's an audience.
So I turned my poem into an advertisement. It's called Tallow Tallow.
You were right.
I was right, I knew it.
Okay. Tallow, tallow, what and why? Healthy fats that I swear by. Rendered oil from suet and lard. In a cauldron, it's not that hard. Tallow, tallow for your fries. All the nutrients it supplies. Steak seared and veggie sauteed. Wholesome benefits well portrayed. Tallow, tallow, your skin desires. Soap, cream, and balm it requires. Multiple vitamins tallow contains. Fatty acids for your brains. Tallow, tallow since ancient times. Wanned by modern product crimes. Not a miracle, state-of-the-art gimmick. Just a simple fat meant not to mimic.
Great job.
You can buy Susie's tallow here at the Frontier Trading Post, folks. All varieties, right over there. It's great. It's good for your brain. All right. Anybody else want to go? I think Scotty's got one to enter into the contest.
Let's just see if anybody else wants to go first.
Yep.
Anybody?
I'll have to make it up on the fly.
Anybody at all?
Just don't.
You can rap a Tom McDonald song, whatever you got going on.
So, they don't have to rhyme.
They don't have to
You
rhyme.
can rap a Tom McDonald song. And what was that next line that you used? What you just said.
What did I just say?
I don't know, but even though it didn't rhyme exactly, I think the sentence or the word structure was about the same, and so it'll do.
It'll do. Nope.
So if it doesn't have to rhyme, I can do a story.
You could do a story. We'll accept a story for the Tompkins Poetry Contest. Here's the story chair.
All right, the story. I'll just try to make it a little bit poetic. That's all I can do.
All right, Gaston, everybody.
I was born in the north, but I don't actually remember. I was really small then. I was told it was in September. One day, with my wife and my kids, we decided to go back to see where I have been, to find the place that it used to call home, the place that has eluded me. I've always searched for home. So I went back to the north, looking for this place that I was born, where I grew up, but only as a child. After many long hours of driving with my wife by my side and my kids in the back seat, I went to the town. The church that I was baptized in had been burnt down. The school that I'd gone to was gone. The town that used to be was just a few houses. There was no home there. My home was gone. But as I drove away, I realized that I did find home, and it was sitting right beside me and behind me. So that travel was not lost. A home I did find.
Beautiful.
Very good. Thank you, brave Gaston, for coming on up.
So that's excellent. So when you do poetry, and you did good, project your voice and articulate as clearly as you can or speak in Pig Latin, I guess.
Yeah.
My mother wrote a poem in Pig Latin. But good poetry moves people. What you shared
So
did.
did good.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to come and spit a few lines? All right, Scotty, you're up. Scotty's poem for the contest.
So, a poem of my mother's called The Hillside Ranch. She wrote this poem for the occasion of my grandparents on my dad's side, their 50th anniversary. And it's called The Hillside Ranch. There's a ranch house on the hillside where they lived for many years, where they worked and raised a family, knew their dreams, their hopes, their fears. Where they rose early in the morning, oft in the dawn's gray light, and planned and toiled and sweated through each day till it was night. Memories of all the things they did through the good years and the bad, how they faced the long cold winters, stuck it out and were glad. For spring always came, and with it came new life and springtime joys, new leaves, new grass, new calves and colts, and through the years the boys. Memories that go way back in years, of which great tales can be told, of blizzards sweeping o'er the hills, of cattle dying in the cold. When there was no feed and the icy wind chilled them and drove them on to shelter in brush or coulee, or lie dead in the frozen dawn. Memories of men who toiled for hours to care for the poor dumb critters. It could break their backs as well as their hearts. It was sure no life for quitters. For the elements are often harsh in these old cypress hills, and a cattleman cares for his stock, though he endures heat, pain, or chills. Memories of roundups and brandings, trailing cattle for miles in the cold, often for a price next to nothing when taken to market and sold. Memories of breaking wild horses, it was all part of ranch work then. Bucking broncs and 4-horse teams separated the boys from the men. Memories that bring a smile to your lips, some that call forth a real belly laugh. The wonders of spring on the prairie, like the sight of a newborn calf. Oh, things could be so grand and peaceful as you worked in the sun or the rain. Made you feel so good inside you forgot all the winter's pain. Memories of caring for family and home, and women's work was never done in sickness or health or grieving or the death of an infant son. Memories of cooking and baking bread in the old black cook stove's heat, of branding crews and haying crews, so weary, most asleep on your feet. Memories of gardens planted and tended in those years that it didn't rain. You watched them dry and wilting, burn like the hay and the grain. When feed was scarce and prices low, there wasn't a nickel to spare, but you managed somehow to keep going, and you always ate 3 square. Memories of visiting neighbors, trips to town with buggy and team. Being rich enough to own a car for years was just a dream. Memories of friends and loved ones, good times that were fun for all. Of picnics, stampedes, and camping, and of dances you can recall. Memories of schooling and teachers, of boys joining the army to fight in a war far over the ocean that somehow didn't seem right. But they kept the home place going and worked just as hard as before till they turned it over to their sons at the ending of the war. I've heard that as you grow older, good memories blot out the bad, and I'm wondering if this is so, would you, dear mother and dad, turn back the pages of your lives, forget the sorrow and pain, come back to the ranch on the hillside and do it all over again. a memory or two in that pile of words, eh?
Very good. All right. We're going to vote on the best poem. And then we're going to sing Happy Birthday to Myron. And there's something for that. But first, excuse me, Scotty.
You're assuming that somebody's gonna vote for you. Don't assume things, funny guy.
You know what they say about assuming?
You make an ass out of me and you too.
That's right.
It's true. Susie.
And our
And
mediator
Scotty.
says I'm not done with that.
You're still deciding.
The mediator says, yeah, because I don't want to describe, I don't want to misspell your name. So I'll just say the guy with the blue shirt and the beard or something.
That works.
So, KISS, what's
They're all
that? KISS
yours.
principle. Keep it simple, sweetheart. Not stupid. Don't use deprecating terms. I'm shouting by the camera.
Yeah, it's gonna be loud. We're just waiting for Scotty, everybody. He's still deciding.
Well, you can start looking through them.
Scotty's still determining.
He's still on the fence?
He's
Do
still
you want
on
me
the
to start
fence.
counting them up, Kai?
What's that?
Do you want me to start counting them?
Yeah, sure. We'll make you the judge. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Everybody pay attention. Is Scotty outside smoking? Or is he just eating bread? Okay.
Call him
There's a
out.
cat in the drawer.
There's a cat in the tea drawer. Hold on a second, folks. I have to beat this cat.
Oh, she's squishing herself in there.
That's not for cats. Here, how about a
It's not
couch?
catnip tea, is it?
There is
some, yeah.
actually. That's exactly what's in there. She's never done that
So
before.
everyone forgot that
Oh,
a long time ago.
it was. Okay, folks. Here's what we got. Well,
Just read the winner.
I'll be honest. Kai overwhelmingly won the funny part. So I guess y'all think I'm funny. So give
Great
it.
job, Kai. Great job.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Kathy,
So seeing as it's my store, I think I get to decide the prize for the funny category. It's probably gonna be a bag of potato chips if I'm being honest. Figure that out tomorrow. See what my tummy wants. For moving, the cat's moving this drumstick. So
into the box.
she's putting it in the music box where it belongs and following it, I guess. Okay, anyways, for the moving category, we've got a tie between Gaston and Scotty. So I'm not entirely sure.
Applause for both of them, and then
Since I'm the
Papa Buggy said.
store manager,
Yeah?
yes.
he can't. No, they have to do
No,
something to win.
I think they have to duel.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go dig some pistols out. We're gonna get out on Main Street
no.
and we're gonna settle this like gentlemen.
I was thinking like a poker battle or something.
A rap battle?
Yeah.
Rap battle.
Scotty, you got this.
Oh,
Okay, we're
In my,
having,
in my case, it would be a crap battle.
there we go. We're gonna have a crap battle, folks. Well, welcome our two contestants up here, and
if you don't get all of this stuff soaked up with bread, you can just do it like a shooter.
Scotty's shooting olive oil.
Things are getting weird.
Things are getting weird here at the Frontier Trading Post. What else is new? We're just waiting on Scotty. I don't know what he's doing. Calisthenics, maybe. All right.
Alright, so how do you play this game?
We don't know yet.
I don't know. We've never played this game. I guess you both sit in chairs. I'm gonna.
No, he likes to stand.
I do?
Yeah.
He knows me better than I know.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
this is
put your
great.
leg on that side, I guess. And then, yeah. Okay, that looks right. Symmetry.
Gaston. The French name there. How'd you get that thing anyway?
it means a man from a gas town, but actually it means a man with a lot of gas. Actually, a ton of gas.
So is that, you burped that, or does that come out the...
You don't want to know.
Because things could get slow. But we got to keep the pace up, because that's the way rapping works.
I see.
He's got to throw some bars at Scotty now. Scotty's got a lot of things to throw bars at, so, you know.
Scotty, does that mean you're cheap? Like in Scottish? Like in Scotch tape?
May we. But may we.
Scotch tape.
Ooh, harsh
That's-
from the dollar store.
That may we, that's French there, that's not, but my grandfather on my mother's side, yes, he was,
You're
Cheap.
frugal. We
Frugal.
call it frugal, cause cheap is cheap. Some people says I got that cheap. Cheap what? Got a cheap thing. Go to Walmart.
I see.
Our Lord who blessed the loaves and fishes, look down upon these 12 dishes, and though the tatties be but small, Lord, make them plenty for us all. And if our stomachs they do fill, 'twill be another miracle. Robert Burns, he's from that place.
Right. And he ate haggis.
Oh,
Right.
haggis. Maybe say something about his frills, maybe. I don't know.
Like, where'd you get that thing?
What thing you're talking about?
My get up.
Oh, I see. Do you sleep in that?
Well, this thing is kind of hard to get in and out of. So maybe I will tonight.
Is that where all the butter's going? It's for Scotty to get into his suit.
But they lied to us because butter actually don't make you fat, nor does tallow. It's carb.
It just makes you slippery.
Salty carbs.
Salty carbs.
That'll put the pocket. So, the frills. I was reciting some poetry to some folks in the bunkhouse. Boys in the bunkhouse are wanting to be fed, so I shot me a calf and cut off its head. I rise and they shine with a 5:30 bell, and the best one of any of them is mean as hell. That's Johnny Cash's song, Mean as Hell.
Back to the no frills
No.
frills.
That's no fair. You got a storehouse of silly songs.
This man just called Johnny Cash silly. Just want that on the record, folks.
Well, it never hurts to have silly songs. 'Cause
Silly
if
songs?
you can't think of a rhyme, then you can say silly things.
Just think of silly song with Larry.
Yes. You probably know all the silly songs with Larry.
You might not.
You got one more to throw at him?
I'll tell you what. How about I concede?
No, I think you should get it. 'Cause,
I think so.
so, to be able to say moving things, whether it's a true story or you missed the line about the cat who's doing something.
The radish.
So, anyways, yeah.
You can't have the radish.
Yeah, so you should get the prize because you didn't come prepared to say that, and there's something to be said for being willing to be
Embarrassed.
spontaneous.
I appreciate that.
So we have our moving poem winner. His first time Free Speech Friday attender, Gaston.
Okay.
And
return this time. Maybe next time I'll write something down.
hey, there we go.
And you did a good job making it rhyme too.
Did. Great. Do you like mustard?
Sure.
How about Heinz ketchup?
Heinz ketchup. Some people
French's ketchup.
don't like Heinz ketchup in this town. I won't tell you who, but they might throw it at you if you ask for it. That was a rhyme.
I'd love mustard.
You'd love
Like
mustard.
Dijon mustard.
Have you ever had dill pickle mustard? Or
No.
dill mustard, I should say.
That would be an experience to remember.
Would it? All right, because I have a brand new jar.
Well, you can trade it for Heinz ketchup. If
You can
want.
trade it for ketchup. You stay right there. I'm gonna bring you your prize, sir. Is that cat breaking things again?
It's catastrophic. Oh, look at that.
So we have right here, just delivered tonight by Gravelberg Mustard, made right here in Saskatchewan, folks. A little bit of product placement. They have offered to make this our prize for tonight's Free Speech Friday.
Wonderful.
So we have savory dill pickle mustard.
Nice.
For Gaston,
Or Gaston.
Oh,
donated from Gravelberg, the biggest French town in Saskatchewan.
It's a French town?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
oh really?
I know they had a cathedral, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
That makes sense if you are in the tourism business. You got to know a little bit about the whole shit.
Scotty is in the tourism business.
What?
Where is Gravelberg?
You're the store manager of the Frontier Trading Post. You're in the tourism business. Come on.
Yes,
Yes.
Where's Gravelberg?
over
That
there, I
way.
think.
Okay.
Which way is that?
No.
No. It's more
You
like
go east.
that
Yep.
way.
Yep.
More like that way.
That lady's right.
You go east.
Well, thank you very much. I will enjoy
And
it.
south. East and south.
Yeah, you can
East
go
and
east
south.
right down if you want
Yeah.
on the number 1 highway to your Hodgeville turnoff, and then you can head south, and then you'll come to, and then you head back east again. I grew up in that country.
Yeah, me too, Canada.
Huh?
I grew up in that
You get a
country
mustard
too, me,
too.
Canada.
Huh?
Yeah.
Do you get a mustard?
I grew up
I
all
get
the time.
whatever I want. I get to pick something tomorrow, and I'm gonna think long and hard about what would make my wife most annoyed if I took it off the shelf. I don't know. We'll see.
Probably boxes.
I might just eat a box of Watkins sprinkles. I've been eyeing those for a while.
That's so weird. Great job, Tom.
All right.
Like cupcakes with those?
They are cupcakes.
Why would you do that? Why would you?
I don't know. I might put it on ice cream. It'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put on bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon
That-
goes with everything.
That would bother my wife.
I,
Indeed.
it really would.
All right.
So, thanks to Kai and Heather. This has been a very enjoyable evening.
Thank you for joining us, Scotty. It's always fun when you're here.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for attending, everybody.
It's happy birthday.
Oh, I almost forgot about Myron's big birthday.
Yeah.
Myron is the big 47.
Yeah.
The big 47. 747. Come up here, Myron.
I'm gonna get my drum for this.
And
Yeah.
go. Scotty,
Give us a
could you
speech.
fetch a Jello cup from the fridge there behind you? I'm gonna grab a drum too. All right, folks. Is that on the camera? Probably.
Can,
Maybe stand up,
Scotty,
Myron.
can you do a poem about Myron?
We'll do happy birthday first, and then there'll be a poem. How about that?
It'd be really funny if Myron did a poem about Scotty.
That would be funny too. All right, folks. Myron's a good friend of ours. He's comes to Free Speech Friday, comes to all this stuff, and we just want to say happy birthday. It's a couple days late, and I will say he asked me to get him snails for his birthday, and I failed him miserably. The store that sells the snails closed sooner than I anticipated, and so I didn't have any snails to bring. So Myron spent his birthday without any snails. But I will rectify that next week, and I will get snails for my friend Myron. All right. Okay. All right. How's this? You want to lead us?
I can't. Never seen some somewhere.
I think Scotty will.
They're in the
Scotty
fridge,
will be
Scotty.
anything.
Candles in the fridge.
They're not candles. It's Jello.
I found the cake. I just need a can.
On the vodka.
Oh, he's looking for candles. Oh my. All right.
There's no candle.
We're gonna sing happy birthday here, and Scotty will bring the cake whenever he finds candles. I don't know. Candles might be larger than the Jello cup. I don't know what he's gonna
I
find.
don't know what it's
All
for.
right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Myron. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you guys.
He's still looking for candles.
And Scotty's still looking for candles. So the moment has sort of passed by. It's okay. I'm sure he'll be 47 again sometime.
Thanks, guy.
Yeah, here. You want to say a little something, Myron? Just,
No.
Yeah, just put that right up.
Shy.
Myron's shy. But he's standing up here. So let's give him a hand.
Come on.
What has he got? Those are emergency candles.
There was a single one back there, but I couldn't find it. I was gonna.
I don't think that's required, really.
All right.
I need a candle.
Scotty and I we're gonna work together on this one. It's Scotty, you're in the camera. There we go. There you go, buddy. Happy birthday. Blow it out. It's a fire hazard.
Yep.
There you go. That's for you. There you go. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Scotty.
I'll give you that. That's a cardboard box you're putting that in. It's still kind of smoking. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, folks.
You got fire insurance on this outfit?
We got no, it never. She tells me not to tell people that.
Thanks, guy.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week's Free Speech Friday. We'll be announcing another one soon. Might be a couple weeks down the line. We do got some other big events coming up. We got a big prep event coming up on May 24th, I believe.
And we have
Oh!
a workshop.
And
we also have a cleaning party. And we also have mustard tasting. We have a lot of things going
All right,
on.
let's start at the beginning. Okay, we got mustard tasting tomorrow. The same mustard that Gaston won. That's at 2:00 tomorrow. So join us down here until close, or while supplies last. So come join us if you like mustard. Then we have People of the Way on Sunday. Church service gathering. Gerald Sanderson, Janice Sanderson are doing the teaching and the music. It's going to be awesome. Who?
Scotty will probably.
Yeah, Scotty will probably be here too. Then on Monday we got our spring cleaning event, which Nikki Heidebrecht is putting on. It's Norwex products and other natural cleaning products, and our baker Melissa is making us. I never say this word right. Macaroons. Macaroons. Gaston, how do you say it?
Macaroons?
Macaroons. They're macaroons, folks.
And are you gonna do the macaroni dance as well?
I'll do whatever the people want me to do. Whatever they want me to do. Macarena, whatever.
Yeah, that's the one.
Coconut dance.
Just show up.
Just come. Come for the Norwex party. It's going to be a blast. There's macaroons, maybe leftover mustard that you could dip them in. Whatever you want, folks. It'll be good. And then on Tuesday at Cowboy Church in Maple Creek, Scotty is doing poetry. Is that correct, Scotty?
That's correct, yep.
That's correct. So if anybody from Tompkins would like a ride to Cowboy Church on Tuesday night, Tompkins bus leaves here at 6? 6:15. Maybe 6:20. It just depends, how long Susie's in here drinking coffee.
It's never Susie.
It's never Susie. It's other people. But that's all right. We stay open as long as people need, and then we go to church. So join us on the Tompkins bus on Tuesday if you want to hear Scotty do poetry in a Cowboy Church.
And I might wear some on my get up, I'm not sure.
I think you should.
Or I might go looking very religious.
Very religious. What would that look
I don't know
like?
what that looks like.
I don't
It's
know,
a
that's
Puritan
weird stuff,
costume.
man.
It's weird stuff, man. And then finally, we have one more announcement about an event, and Susie's going to come up here and tell us about it.
So So on April 28th at 6 p.m., I am hosting a make your own tallow lotion workshop. So, yeah, just bring yourselves. Coffee and tea are provided by Kai and Heather, and I provide the tallow and essential oils and whatever's needed. So
When is that again?
28.
it's on the 28th at 6 p.m. and it's $30 per person.
Tallow workshop, lotions. It's gonna be awesome. It'll
Sign
be
up,
fun.
sign up,
Sign up now. Text Heather, text Kai, text Scotty, text Susie, text whoever you want if you want to sign up for the tallow workshop. Anyways, with that product placement, we're gonna close this out, folks. Thanks everybody for coming.